Resident Evil has always been a series willing to play with its design. Every game added or removed features, but always crafted a new experience for better or worse. Resident Evil 7 is no different. With the camera being set in first person, this series is getting a fresh angle on a classic experience. You control Ethan Winters as he searches for his now 2 years missing wife in the swamp land of Louisiana. Soon you find yourself trying to escape to a dilapidated mansion and figure out the mystery behind the seemingly invincible Baker family as they hunt you down. The game's setting and world design are really draw you into the game. The mansion's run down to the point of disrepair, food has been laying out for years, all the walls are peeling, every door and floorboard moan of the pressure of the lightest footsteps. New technology of the modern era is placed haphazardly around the environment, letting the house feel lived in and owned for a long length of time. This also applies to the environments outside the mansion, from rotting docks to under construction puzzle rooms. It all feels like it was designed to feel special and memorable. While the game's new angle feels fresh, the return to a classic Resident Evil feeling truly sets it apart. The inventory is limited, your resources are scarce, and the enemies take a lot of bullets to take down. Learning how to move past monsters without fighting is as important as learning how to shoot. Memorizing map layouts and always scratching through the nooks and crannies is integral to surviving in this hostile environment. And it is hostile. The black humanoid monsters can all come out of nowhere. The Baker family will be scouring the area looking for you. Unless you're in the limited safe room scattered around, there is always a presence of danger around. This is one of the few games where I picked up a grenade launcher and I was still worried about how I would survive. The puzzles that were insidious to the first game's design has taken the back burner to a more exploration survival feeling of Resident Evil 4. Where there are still puzzles, the few that are in the game are easy and don't require much thought. The challenge comes in finding where to go and how to get there. What makes Resident Evil 7 stumble is the pacing of the game and the lack of monster design. The first half of the game is undeniably entertaining. The story sets up an interesting mystery, the environment is beautiful, the Baker family are well designed, making each location and fight feel tailored to their personality. Yet, when you make it to the second half of the game, it all falls apart. The biggest problem are the monsters. They all look the same. There are around 4 variants of the same black goo monster with pointy teeth. Fighting the first few is exciting because you have no idea how to fight them. But after fighting 30, you know the exact number of bullets to kill them and it just becomes optimization. The variants don't change the general flow of the combat either. It's just shoot it in the head until it pops like a cherry, reload, and repeat. It's a major disappointment in the comparison to all the previous games, where there were loads of different monsters and the variants add a unique twist to the fights. It also sucks because the gunplay in this game is superb. The controls are tight. If I miss a shot or didn't do something correctly, it always felt like it was my fault. It makes the tension really ratchet up when you know it's your fault if you miss that critical shot. Another problem in the latter half is resources. Where there was once a drought of ammo, by the end I was drowning in them. With thousands of bullets and repetitive monster design, the end wasn't scary, it was a slog. Now the biggest problem for Resident Evil 7, and what has always been a problem for this series, is the story. The intro and premise left me with a lot of questions, and as the game progressed I grew more and more absorbed into the mystery. Yet, near the end of the game, the explanation is just dumped onto you unceremoniously. All the build-up and suspense is just squandered in 5 minutes. A classic style to horror storytelling is to leave the unexplained, unexplained. You don't need to know literally everything about the creature you're trying to kill to have a satisfying conclusion. It is important to clarify that even with the latter half of the game being disappointing, it's not a deal breaker. The first half, as stated earlier, is incredibly strong. Where pacing went wrong in the second half, it's impressive in the first. Every few minutes something different is happening. Puzzles introduce themselves clearly while also being clever. The exploration is tense and the resources are scarce. The music is minimalistic and always setting the mood even if you don't notice it. Everything you want in a survival horror game is here at the start. It truly feels like I was scraping by in the encounters, and that felt unique compared to the only hiding horror genre or the power fantasy action games of late. It was perfectly done, which only makes the second half more disappointing as it rolls around. While the second half of the game is disappointing, it's not bad, and the first half is truly amazing. This is the shot in the arm Resident Evil has needed for a long time, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Resident Evil 7 gets a 7 out of 10.